Hey everybody, it's Armand. So recently I released brake and clutch fluid bleeder caps for NA, NB, and NC Miata, NND Miata, and we have some more that are going to be coming out soon, but I made a video to go ahead and show how we use these here in the shop. So today I have an NC Miata here, and I have one of our NC Miata caps. It says NC Miata. This can be used for both the brake and clutch fluid on the NCs. The same goes for the NDs because they share the reservoir between the clutch and the brake masters. So here in the shop, the way we do this is first we're going to take all of the fluid out that we can just to expedite getting clean fluid into this. Let's see, I'm going to get this insert out of here. And we have a suction device over here that we're going to take all of that fluid out with. Now that all the fluid has been sucked out, we're going to move on to filling it back up with new fluid and then pushing it through. So we have a new bottle of brake fluid here. Break that open. We're going to fill this up all the way to the top. Okay, we're all the way to the top. We're going to take our cap, have our O-ring inside of there. Sit this on here and we're going to screw it down. Okay, nice and snug. Next I'm going to put a flashlight behind the reservoir, that way I can see the fluid level clearly. It's very important that we don't let the level get too low while we're flushing fluid through. So what I've done here in our shop is since we have shop air, I don't want to always be turning the shop air down in pressure. I have a localized regulator that I've put together to go with this. So all of our pressure bleeding caps come with a quarter quick connect, your standard type fitting. So we're going to stick this onto here. We're going to plug it into my localized regulator. Then we're going to plug in shop supply. So currently I have 0 PSI. We're going to crank this up to 20. Well, that's not a good sound. Sounds like my quick connect is leaking. Well, the product isn't leaking. Here we go. Okay, so I have 20 PSI going into this. And normally we would go in normal order around the car, but I wanted to demonstrate how we use it here. So I have my collection jug. You can buy one of these from your local Snap-on dealer. And it has a check valve in line as well. So we're going to come down here to this one. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this open and we're going to watch the level go down. So I give it my quarter turn. We're going to start seeing fluid flow into here. And there it is. It's nice and easy. We're going to sit here and we're going to watch. It's important that you make sure this doesn't go below minimum or you'll be forcing air into the system. This goes for both brake and clutch fluid. Now, as far as taking care of the brake fluid, this is pretty standard. You just run this through. What I normally do is I do each corner one reservoir all the way down to minimum. And then I'll repeat it again just to make sure. Just try and make sure we have a very good clean flush. As far as the clutch fluid goes, what I will do is I will compress the slave cylinder in order to make sure that there's no air trapped in the slave cylinder. And I'll use one of the quick connects or quick clamps like an Irwin quick grip in order to do that. So we're coming up on the minimum level now. And closed. So now one person has taken care of this fluid. So I'm going to disconnect this. And that's going to continue leaking. We're going to take the cap back off, take more fluid, and repeat the process. We're doing the clutch fluid, and specifically I want to go over this on the NC because the reservoir is actually split back here. So up until you reach the seam, the reservoir is completely shared. But as you see, there's a line here and that line actually has a split on the bottom half. So you'll see down here, if you look very closely, the coloration is different down in this corner. And that's because that fluid is contaminated still, even though we've flushed several times through the main reservoir. So this is the level we need to be watching as the fluid goes down. Usually I stop flushing right when it hits the seam here anyway, because there's a high risk of getting air into the line from here. So now we're under the car. We need to take off this brace to get it out of the way. So I'm going to loosen these 12s over here. These don't need to be removed because they're solid. That's out of the way, we have access to our slave cylinder. So currently we do not have any pressure in the system. What we're going to do is we're going to compress this. So I usually take a 12 or 13 millimeter socket and stick it over this. And it is very important that we do not have pressure in the system right now because this will not work otherwise. So we're going to take our quick grip and we're going to clamp it down. It'll take just a little bit of effort, not a lot. And once it's fully compressed, that's it. Now that we're fully compressed, we have our bleeder nipple here. Let's see if I can grab my 8 here. Yeah. So I have my 8 I'm going to stick on here. And I'm going to come over here with my bleeder bottle and hook that on as well. For ease, I'll tell you what, just for ease, I'm going to pull this around the side. There we go. So now, we're in a position where we need to open up, we're going to need to open the bleeder after we apply pressure. So, this is best to have a friend with you because we don't always have good access to see up top. You could always, I had one of my employees actually figured out he could FaceTime himself and put his phone up top so he could see the fluid level while under the car. So that's an option as well. What we'll be doing is we'll just be applying the same pressure, cracking it open, and flushing the fluid through. After you're finished, you'll need to pump the pedal several times. It is important that during this process that no one forces the pedal down because this is not strong enough to hold back the pedal pressure with your foot on it. So if you are trying to bleed a new system, it is important that the person who is pushing the pedal does it with their hand and low effort when the bleeder is open. So I'll go apply pressure and we'll check this out. So I've applied the 20 psi to the cap. We're going to crack this open. We're going to get some fluid flowing. Here we go. Our fluid's coming out kind of dirty, which is a good sign that we're in need of doing a flush. So now I'm going to demonstrate the trick I have for doing this by yourself if you have to bleed air out of the system. Well, I do have some longer arms, so this does help. This is a little bit easier to do laying down as well. So I'll get into a position like this. My right hand is on the clutch pedal, and my left hand is over here in the bleeder. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack the bleeder open, and we're going to push with our right hand down on the pedal. And there you can hear all the air coming out. So I'm going to pull the pedal back up, and I'm going to push the pedal back down. And I'll pull the pedal back up and back down one more time, and we're going to close it. So now I'm going to go back up with the pedal. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to add more fluid. We have refilled with fluid, and now we'll repeat. So again, crack the bleeder open, push the pedal down. We'll look and see if we get air out of it at any point. It appears that we have no more air in the lines. So I'm going to shut this. Make sure you get it nice and tight. Okay, we're going to remove our bleeder. There's our nice and dark fluid that we've extracted from the system. You can repeat this as many times as you want to get your fluid clean. I'm going to stop there. Now the next portion, make sure you don't scare yourself. We're going to relieve this. Now the slave cylinder is still probably going to be empty. So we're going to have to pump the pedal several times to get fluid into it. Before I do so, I'm going to make sure that I have enough fluid in the reservoir, so that way we don't add air into the system. So we are right there where I need to be adding fluid, so I'm going to add some real quick. Now what we're going to do is pump the pedal a couple of times until we get some pressure into it. And what you'll be able to witness is the slave cylinder will take up all of this slack here. Here we go. This one's kind of springy, so it's fine, but some of them will stay fully retracted until you pump the pedal a few times. So pedal feels fine, doesn't feel squishy at all. We're finished. So once again, we do have these for the NA and NB clutch master cylinders. We have them for the NC, brake and clutch master, as well as the ND clutch and brake master right now. So future products will come out and they'll all be the same procedure for usage. Thanks for watching.